Alton Sterling was murdered by the Baton Rouge Police Department in cold blood. The white media isn't telling you a thing about his killers. In fact, all they've told you is that Sterling had a prior record. If you didn't know better, you'd swear that Alton Sterling was the one who killed somebody rather than the one who was murdered, which of course is the white media's entire objective. Well, since the white media refuses to do their job, I'm going to give you the facts. The two white killers deliberately chose to approach a man who they could see was breaking no law. Even so, they approached him in a hostile and intentionally aggressive manner. Louisiana is an open carry state, so even if the rationale of they were called in because someone said he had a gun was true, it still wouldn't matter because it's not illegal to carry a gun in Louisiana. These two killers then lied after they murdered Alton Sterling, both on the radio and in statements to their department, claiming that Sterling had a gun out when the videotape clearly shows that he did not. The white killers had been on the force only a few years, and already they had been involved in violent acts, having shot a man just 2 years ago. You know, they say that the average police officer only draws his gun once in his entire career, but already these guys have done so twice. Although both of the police killers had on body cameras, they claim that the cameras were knocked out of place when they jumped on Sterling. This is something that is routine now with police officers across the nation where body cameras are mandatory, but only when the police carry out a shooting that is clearly murder. The rest of the time, the body cameras function fine. The cameras are either out of position or, in many other cases, suffer a mysterious malfunction, but only when the police carry out a killing and really need the evidence to go away. After the murder, the Baton Rouge police went around confiscating all the video footage, first from the store where the killing took place in front of, and then some of the surrounding stores. This is exactly what the Chicago PD did after they murdered Laquan McDonald. The Baton Rouge police have not released the body camera footage. This too is exactly what the Chicago PD did after they murdered Laquan McDonald. As we all know, the police immediately release all department footage after a shooting, but only when they think that it will support the department. Otherwise, the footage remains under investigation in perpetuity. The Chicago PD took over a year and had to be forced by a court order to release the Laquan McDonald murder footage. And in the case of Alton Sterling, had it not been for the bystanders who videotaped this murder, the Baton Rouge police would have been able to bury this footage away as well, as they're doing now. At the press conference, the death squad chief, the mayor, and DA all told the same pack of lies that they do after every murder of a black person by the police. They told the public that the killers walk on water, that this is yet another totally isolated incident that seems to happen every single day, and that the police have such a hard job. No mention is made of how hard the public's job is to survive with a murder squad on the streets. The Baton Rouge police have a long-standing record of racism within the department, so bad that Michael Ellsbury, a Baton Rouge police officer, resigned after being discovered sending texts that said he wished someone would pull a Ferguson and take them out, and that he hated looking at those African monkeys at work. Another one of this fine police officer whose job is so hard text said that black people are nothing but a bunch of monkeys. And the police chief at that time, Police Chief Carl Dabadie, who is still the chief today, was already making excuses for that incident, saying that the department couldn't prove that the text came from Ellsbury, and that they did not ask him to resign his job, and that he believed that this was just an isolated incident. The same script that they're using today. The Baton Rouge Police Department also has an unbelievably long record of racism and brutality against black citizens. Not surprisingly, the Baton Rouge police has a record of clearing officers of police brutality almost uniformly. And you won't be shocked to learn that the cops who get cleared virtually all the time are virtually all white. Who could have seen that coming? And these are the individuals who we're told have such a dangerous job and put their lives on the line for the citizens every day. Speaking of white racist cops, even though the city of Baton Rouge is majority black, the department is majority white. The Baton Rouge police was defending these killers until the video surfaced. After that, they called the Justice Department and asked if the feds would take the case. The DA down there lied at the press conference and said that the Justice Department told them to hand the case over. That is a lie. The Baton Rouge police asked the Justice Department to take the case because they realized they had been caught in a lie and they desperately needed to get it into the hands of someone else so that the feds would take the blame when they predictably find that there's just not enough evidence to charge them with anything. You better keep in mind that the Justice Department case will be investigated by the FBI, and it was James Comey, the current FBI director, who said that he didn't like it when people videotaped the police. So the fix is already in. There has been no investigation of any sort as yet, but even so, the white media is already claiming that the murder of Alton Sterling is legal. This without an investigation having even been conducted. So the white media is making no bones about where they stand, and it's on the side of white supremacy. Now the white media and their fellow travelers will try to tell us the same old lie about how these are just a few bad apples, but when we keep getting this many bad apples all day, every day, isn't it just time to put the lies aside and admit that there's something wrong with the whole damned orchard?